Welcome back. Before I get started turning the paint chips, just a couple of things. First of all, I finally made it through all the Christmas Ornament Challenge videos. Thank you so much. I really appreciate everybody that entered. Ellen and I should have it worked out, probably announce the winners maybe this week or early next week. So again, thank you so much. And if you haven't seen Tim Sway's video, I'll put a link down below in the description. You should go check it out. So great job, Vance, and way to stick with it. All right, a couple of things about the paint before we get started. So it's automotive paint. It's overspray that would build up on the racks in the factory. This came out of the Freightliner factory here in Portland, Oregon. So almost 99% of the stuff I have are little teeny pieces like this, maybe 3/4 of an inch tall. To do a box like this, I maybe have 5 or 6 pieces left this size, big enough to do that. So most of it is just little stuff, so I can do, little finials or things like that, or little little inlay pieces. So it's not. I get asked to do chest pieces all the time from the other video, but I don't have anything big enough other than these little guys here. A couple other things, I wear my respirator hood when I'm doing it, and the reason I don't turn on my dust collector is, first of all, it would clog it up in about 30 seconds, but the other reason is I save all the shavings and then I cast them in aluminum to make other things like pin blanks and things like that. So that's why I don't use that. My dust collector has a grate over the front of it, so it would clog up almost instantly. But you need to wear something. It's the fumes from it. I wet sand, so I don't have to really worry about that. But just turning it, there's an odor, that it releases, and I'm sure it's not good. So keep that in mind if you have any. So I sold some over the weekend to some wood turners, so I will just keep that in mind, guys, when you're turning it. So I've only turned a little bit of acrylic. And the stuff I've turned isn't like this. It doesn't, this stuff tends to chip. I turn it from the face going in, try and go slow. I don't heat it up. It gets a little mushy if you try and ride your bevel or something on it. So I will hopefully give you some tips, and don't be afraid to, if you can't quite get the shape with the chisel, it sands with 100 grit, and it sands actually pretty fast. So if you want to do some shapes with it, in fact, like all the jewelry pieces I have up on Etsy, it was just Robin just sanded it with 100 grit to shape it and do things like that. So it sands pretty fast with 100 grit, but just keep that in mind, the fumes. All right, let's go ahead and get started, and I have a little bit of footage from the box. I put that up on Facebook, and everybody seemed to like it. It already sold, so I'll try and get a couple more up pieces, and I'll get some more boxes up on Etsy with the paint inlay in them. But I think that's about it. Let's go ahead and get started. The wood shop is sponsored by Robust Lathe, Easy Wood Tools, and ChefwareKits. Okay, I just glued it onto a waste block here with hot glue, and that's what I always do to turn it. So here are the two tools that I almost always use to turn it, is either a round carbide cutter or a very fine spindle gouge. This one, the cutting edge on it is right there. It's maybe 1/8 of an inch, and this is the one from Cindy Drozda. You don't want to use a regular spindle gouge or like a bowl gouge or something where the bevel goes all the way down. If you get it hot, it'll start to get a little gushy, so you don't want to heat it up. I usually, if I'm cutting with this one, take a few passes with it and just let it spin for a minute and cool down, and then keep going at it. You don't want to heat it up. So, and you always want to turn right into the headstock faceplate like that. You don't want to come out here, because the layers, if it catches one of those, it'll peel it back. So every once in a while I'll come around to do some little thing and then ruin a piece, but it's, for the most part, I try and stay going in. So I'm just going to go ahead and try and shape it, give it its basic little shape. I'm just going to make a little dome, something I can insert into a box on this one, and then we'll make a finial with the next one. But I'll show you how it works. I turn the lathe speed up all the way to 2,000. The faster it's going, the less chance of it catching on one of those little layers is. take a look. Didn't really do anything, but that's what happens is it'll grab a layer of it. There we go, and it took a big old chunk out of it. That's what I mean. So it's kind of, you start out with a piece like this and you end up with a much smaller piece, but it's worth it when they come out. I'm going to lower this down just a little bit. Alright, that looks good. I'm just come around here, flatten that off so I can inlay that into something. Just going to use the fine spindle gouge for that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and sand it now, and I turn the lathe speed way down, have some water here, and I'm out of the mesh pads, but if I had those I'd run through those too, but the ultra gloss seems to be working pretty well. So I just wet sand it so it doesn't get too hot. And a lot of times too, if you're trying to do something a little delicate on them, it's probably easier to sand it. If you just do it with 100 grit, it will eat away at it pretty fast. I'm just going to finish running through the rest of the grits, and then I'll be back and show you how I put the polish on. Just put a little dab of the crystal or ultra gloss on. Turn the lathe speed down to low. Doesn't splatter all over the place. And you'll notice too, it takes off some of the color because it's, well, sanding a little bit. And then I turn the speed up slowly. There we go, and it puts a nice little shine on it. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and cut this off, and I'm just going to cut off with the handsaw, and I'm just going to use this as an inlay for the top box lid or something. Okay, same thing, just glued it on, used the tailstock to put some pressure on it until the glue's set up. I'm going to go ahead and start shaping the outside. We'll make this one a little more delicate. It seems to be doing all right, but just take nice light little cuts as you go down. Try not to force it. I'm going to go ahead and use the spindle gouge now and come in here and make a little handle. Alright, so hopefully you can see that I just made a cove there and then made this little spot right down here so that I can sink that into the top of a box or something. Alright, I'm going to come in just a little bit more right there. There. We're getting pretty close to the glue. I'm gonna let that be, and I'm gonna go ahead and sand it. And then we'll do the same thing, but I'm gonna clean up some of these shavings first. I'm just gonna run through all the grits again, turn the lathe speed down. Then I'll be back and we'll put the polish on it. I'll be able to use that for a pull on a box. All right, I hope that helped. So if you're getting ready to turn some of this, just keep in mind, just light little cuts. Try not to heat it up too much. And most important thing is wear some sort of respirator with it because it is automotive paint. All right, I think that is about it. If this is your first time here, I have new project video every Friday. I hope to see you there. And if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe. Take care.